Catus, Maximus here, this time with a quick review of Harbor Freight's Quinn. They call these electrician scissors. They're just cheesy little scissors. They also talk about them being 6 inches, but the standard for measuring cutting tools and scissors is by the actual cutting blade, not the overall length. And we can see that the overall length, not exactly 6 inches, and that's on this offset handle. These are Chinese. We can see that they have some kind of odd like gripper thing in the middle. But these are really rounded. I'm not exactly sure how well these are going to grab. I mean, they're rounded so they don't damage wire. But I don't know how you're going to really get a good grip on anything when you're just like kind of holding them like this. Kind of seems gimmicky. These whole things kind of seem a little gimmicky. Especially for like the $12 or $13 that they're charging for them. They have like a nylon handle. But they do have like this sharp edge all the way around it. They're just not molded very well. And if you look, there's like all these kind of odd discolorations. These just aren't very well made. The jaws seem okay. They have serrations on the lower jaw, but not on the upper jaw that ostensibly keep things from slipping. They have these two little notches, slightly tapered notches. And the idea behind these is they're supposed to be wire strippers. You kind of jam the wire in there and pull it. And I suppose that works okay. Ridges on the jaws, the outside, and that's like if you do a punch out, you're supposed to be able to ream it with these scissors, but these things are just cheesy. I mean, the one thing I'll admit is at least they have a halfway decent grind, so they will generally cut plastic, but it's not super great. And that's what's kind of disappointing, is this is a pretty thin plastic, and it's a pretty good test because the plastic wants to stretch. So unless you have really sharp, well-grown jaws, you'll have this issue where it just does not really want to cut. If we get down here, sure, it works a little bit better. But if you get into this area, which is ostensibly called a cable cutter, and that does generally work okay, just because they have a very tapered edge on both sides. As far as getting back to the length, what we're really looking at here is if we go from, say, the center line of the pivot. Come on, camera. There we go. We can see they're about a 2 1/8 inches. So 2 inch actual cutting jaws. And you can't actually cut way back to the back there, as you can see. So the maximum cutting depth is just to the back of that half moon area. And so if we measure from there, you've got a little over 1 5/8. It's like 1 9/16 or something like that. Like 32 millimeters, something along those lines, 35 millimeters. Anyway, super short. And they don't want to advertise 1 5/8 inches. They want to advertise 6 inches, so you think you're getting something better. So, generally speaking, they're just, for $12, they're just, you know, some thick jaw, compact little utility scissors. And to tell you the truth, for little Chinese utility scissors, you can get ones like this for $5 off of, you know, Amazon or eBay or those kind of places. So spending $12 on, you know, some Quinns, sure, they have a lifetime warranty, but the warranty doesn't mean much if you're not going to use the tool much, or if it's not going to be particularly useful. And that's really all I have to say about these. I just, you know, I didn't want to spend the money, but I haven't I hardly do any Harbor Freight reviews anymore, so saw these and decided to pick them up, and I'll probably end up throwing them in my desk drawer just for a little, you know, kind of hobby use, because that's about all I can think to use them for. An electrician's not going to want to carry these around. These cutters, even though they're sharp, these handles and everything are so darn short that if you can't cut like solid core wire, you just be like wrenching down on these. Sure, you might be able to cut like some Ethernet cable, but other than that, they're just, I don't see them as being particularly useful. Particularly with all the other scissors that Harbor Freight seems to have these days. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.